Hello Anons. I noticed a thread on /x/ that I had a similar experience to, but the thread was archived. I'm starting a new thread here, feel free to add on to it. If anyone has come across anything close to what I found, I'd like to know I'm not just crazy. I'm not going to bother green texting this, because I don't want to fuck up in trying to format my account. Also please forgive me for my grammar, English is not my first language. So about 2 months ago I heard from one of my friends from work about an abandoned church uptown from me. I live in Europe, so leftover buildings are still around from the war. I have a keen interest in urbex, and wanted to see if I could get some cool photos. Pic related, it's the outside of the church I checked out. It was cold as shit at the time, and the front door was packed in with snow, so it took a bit of budging to get it open. It was so cool seeing how the snow was falling slowly down into the middle of the main hall, very picturesque. That was when I got a sudden chill. And to preface this, it was already winter and cold. This was like, super cold, you know? I couldn't explain it, but I just felt completely terrified, like I was shitting my pants, and my shit was immediately freezing solid into bricks of concentrated fear. I turned around, and standing before me, was this pale-faced man creature rising out of the floor making this strange drawn-out echoing hum sound. I was instantly locked on the spot, gazing into its beady black eyes, and its alabaster skin that almost glowed with how white it was. Before I could react, it briefly extended its hand, and my vision went black. When I opened my eyes, I was inside of a coffin, and the sky was dark. There were no stars. I rose up out of the coffin, and ash and dust fell off me in great piles onto the ground. There were some dead trees, rocks, and graves scattered all around me. If I hadn't already emptied the contents of my colon into my trousers earlier, I'd have shit myself again. Where in the fried chicken fuck was I? Did I fall unconscious? Was I dead? I walked down a little path, these questions repeating over and over in my mind as I started shaking in abject panic. I eventually came across a large dusty bowl with a small blue jar in it. I was pretty thirsty, so I filled up the small jar in a clean puddle of water next to me. I was about to take a sip to quench my thirst when I heard a twig snap behind me, and I turned around, lowering the small blue jar before I took a drink. 2 figures in blue hooded robes were coming out from behind the rocks and trees around me, rapidly descending to where I was standing. One of them lowered its hood, revealing a man's face with scraggly pubic red hair and a long dirty wizard beard. He also lacked eyebrows, making him immediately unsettling to me. This shaggy-faced man pointed a finger at me and said, "Look at the sweaty triad Estes cancelling," in a crusty, gravelly voice. The other figure lowered its robes as well, revealing another ginger, his hair receding farther than what I thought possible, almost as if it was receding on the fabric of reality itself. This second ginger twitched his head back and forth like a predatory bird, and said, "Can someone do something about Anon?" I had gone from shitting my pants to pissing them. How did this balding entity know my name? I tried to back away, but they both rushed forward, grabbing each of my arms, dragging me with them. They both began chanting, "Go to fucking Pontiff! Go to fucking Pontiff, dude," and more blue-hooded figures showed up all around me. I was brought to the edge of a stone dais, where another one of these guys was waiting. The chants of "Go to fucking Pontiff" were getting louder and louder, rattling my brain inside of my skull. This third figure stepped forward and spoke. It said, "You have all been mining crypto hard these past few weeks. It would seem that a sweaty has stumbled into our midst. He has committed crimes of dishonesty in Estes cancelling. And the punishment is ultimate. He will be sentenced to the Blue Sentinel kick." I had shat and pissed everything I had. I was emptied, replaced with an infinite spiraling void of dread. Once again, I heard that low hum, the sound reverberating around this bizarre cemetery. The figure who had assumedly sentenced me to some kind of cult-ass death cried out, "It's Malcolm. He is breaking the non-aggression pact." In a flash, the hooded man fled, as the same lumpy-faced entity that had put some kind of spell over me earlier materialized, gliding behind all of the figures simultaneously while also appearing as one. I couldn't comprehend what I was seeing. This being held forth a long wooden staff with what appeared to be a crystal ball on the end, and each of the hooded figures began rocketing into the air, a squishy brown substance firing out of the bottom of their robes, and their heads exploding with blood and purple light. I took my chance, fleeing back to the coffin where I woke up, tripping on an overturned stone, plunging headfirst into the dusty stone casket. Everything went black once more. I woke up inside of the abandoned church again. I looked around, my eyes devouring my surroundings like a drowning man gulping for air. Was it all a dream? I turned to leave, when something fell out of my pocket. It was the small blue jar. The hairs on the back of my neck rose so abruptly it was as if they were trying to flee my skin. I picked the cerulean container, the only proof that my ordeal had occurred, and rushed home, vowing to never return again. Since the incident, I have always had nightmares where I still hear that gravelly, raspy voice, shaking me to my core, chanting,